Hello and welcome to Eternal Durdles. I'm your host, Zach Clark, and with me as always, Phil Blackman. Phil, how's it going, man?
Bro, don't even think about bringing your pet deck to a tournament, bro.
Never
don't do
bring
it.
a pet deck. Just
never do that.
Always play the best deck. Everyone should be playing Blue Red Delver in every scenario, in every format.
Bro, don't you want to spike the event, right? You want to win that $400 that you paid $100 to win, right? Come on now.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, we can chat about the I want to say that was Cedric's take. I'm not positive. Who started that?
I don't know who it was. I just saw that it was that whole discussion about like, should you play your pet deck or should you play the best deck going into any event? And it was just like, oh my gosh, guys, what are we even talking about here?
I mean, you just told me about this, and then I recall, I check Twitter so infrequently. For all I know, Cedric could have been like memeing about it or something, and I'm never paying enough attention to Twitter to like really see if whoever's talking is actually making a salient point or just like trolling somebody else or like calling somebody else a racist. I just I can never tell. So I don't engage on Twitter that much.
I'm gonna be on a sinking ship. And in my dying breaths, I'm going to be doom scrolling Twitter.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, for me, it's doom scrolling TikTok. We have a TikTok, by the way. You can find our TikTok at Eternal Durdles on TikTok. We don't do it much with it yet, but one day we're going to do that. Yeah, you can see, like, if you go to mine, Rocker Tycoon, I'm doing stuff every day, but it's not about Magic. I'm trying to keep my personal brand, off of Magic, because I have Magic as a brand already, as a thing. Like, this is more about music and movies and pop culture stuff that, I could start a whole nother podcast with that stuff, but that's
speaking of your brand, what are your thoughts on adding to our merch store spectacle lenses that are exactly the kind that you wear, just without the prescriptions?
Oh man,
so we can all have spectacle lenses and walk around at events looking like Zach Clark.
We got to go with the OGs. And these aren't even the OGs.
We're going to go to the OGs.
These are the ones I got married in.
There you go.
These guys.
Oh, yeah, look at those. These are
pretty good. But hold on, let me step up, because I can go to the next level here. Of course,
you got to watch the YouTube to see these spectacles. But anybody who wants some spectacles like I do.
I had a pair that had like a multiplication sign here and a division sign here. That was cool. That was like one of my first like good pairs. But I've always been, a big, nerd glasses guy. Like I like my glasses big. We could do something like this in the hat.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You then just Eternal Durdles on the back.
It's a cycling hat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we get the glasses and the cycling hat.
Oh no, this isn't even a cycling hat. This is just a regular. This is just a regular hat. Regular hat. I do have, it's over there. I'm not gonna bother people by getting it. Also, this needs to come back around. That's supposed to light up behind me, not light the back of my head. So anyhow, so we've got Dominaria United coming up soon, right?
We do,
and that's fun. Like, we love Dominaria, the plane. The OG plane for Magic the Gathering. It's where you gather, but truly, I'm excited because I heard a rumor. I think it was through Blogatog. I'm not sure. I just like saw a post on Reddit and doom scrolled right past it that we're going back to like the timeline of one of the previous sets, or it'll have to do with one of the previous sets. So a lot of people think it's going to be Invasion, and I come on, let's see Fallen Empires remastered. That's what I want to see, man. I want to see like a whole brand new like Fallen Empire style thing, like post dark, pre Ice Age, right in there.
Oh, so this is going to be as far as this is going to be a separate time. Like, there isn't going to be any of our modern day planeswalkers.
Teferi exists, right? Like, he can travel through time.
Yeah.
Right.
So maybe he shows back up again. I feel like we've had enough of Teferi for a little while.
Yeah.
I don't know. I lose to Teferi way too often.
Yeah. I mean, maybe if he goes back in time, he'll get stuck there,
Wow. Pre-mending. I think it would be interesting if the concept might be interesting if they're like, hey, what's one of the past sets that took place in Dominaria that were absolute pieces of shit? And if we could go back and redo history and make that set good, what would it look like?
If I had my druthers, Phil, I'd go back to Homelands and redesign that entire set, because it's a very cool idea. And that's not Dominaria, that's or Garthia or something like that. It's like some weird starts with like a U. But that's a really cool.
Grotha?
Or Grotha? Is that what it is?
I don't know. I just made that. I know I've heard that word before somewhere.
Yeah. But that plane is super top down, like story based, and then they didn't design the cards well. They literally hired like interns to do the cards.
Cool. I love
which
that.
Which is wild that like if you hired interns to do the cards now, I feel like you'd get a really powerful set. And they were like, let's make this game as bad as possible. You know? So
they did that for Modern Masters.
Yeah, well, I mean, Modern Horizons, you're saying.
So yes, Modern Horizons. Yeah. They brought in pros, but pros are not designers, and so they were effectively,
But I would like to see.
And that turned out great. That turned out so great.
I mean,
for every format.
Everybody's very happy with the outcome.
Every
there, I think.
Format's so happy.
Yeah. More premium packs, like really expensive stuff. Like that's the bread and butter for me. I like buying Magic cards that cost more than they should. That's where I go. Anyhow, I say all that to say this, Phil. I'm hype about returning to Dominaria. And I'm also hype about the idea that we could jump into a timeline that might be before the Brothers' War, or like maybe slightly after the Brothers, just something that's not like the constant like apocalypse is happening. Hell, you can go right to the apocalypse set. But I just want to go to a time when like it was just guys wandering around on Dominaria, like the Chandelar app, from Microprose. But to that end, I have got a list of 10 cards that I would like to see get reprinted in this new set, and they're not all from Fallen Empires.
Now, when you say you want them reprinted, you mean you want them reprinted in their original form, or you want new versions of them?
I think so. This is reprints. This is like cards I think we'll see. Maybe, as far as like new design is concerned, I think it's impossible to speculate on that, because like they're obviously, that's like Wizards of the Coast.
Oh, I'll speculate. Bro,
Nintendo.
I'll speculate.
Fine.
We're getting the Sensei's top in this set, brother. We're getting Magus of the Sensei's top.
Magus of the Sensei's top. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna be called like I don't know, like Urza's Trinket or whatever, and it's just gonna be a watered down Sensei's top.
Phil, what would go great with Magus of the Sensei's top? It would be the first card on my list, Sylvan Library.
Sylvan Library is
right back into standard.
Yeah, when was the last time it was reprinted? It was reprinted.
Technically, there was a green like commander thing that like it got reprinted in, but before that, 4th edition. Before that, Eternal Masters. Yeah. I was like, there's a new art that I remember that. I thought that like granted the old art is iconic, but the artist ended up being a Nazi, so it wasn't very good. Yeah, no, we don't like that guy.
We don't like that guy at all. But the new art would look so good on an old border.
Well, are you talking about the new art, the guy with the banjo, or
it's like the floating? It's like the floating monk. Yeah,
that's the new art. That's from the commander thing.
There's a third art.
There's a third art. I'm pretty sure that is
I'm looking.
Like the in between. What's the Eternal Masters art? Look for that one.
All right, you keep going. I'm looking up this art.
Pop that over there while you're looking.
Oh yes, I see. Yeah, you're right. It's the valley, the valley. I was thinking of the banjo guy.
So that's a card. I think that you can actually safely put that into modern and into standard. Standard's fine, like it's whatever. I think you can put that into modern, and it probably will be okay. I don't actually care, honestly. I don't care. Yeah. None of the stuff I'm taking into account for modern. I just want to see these cards in like a standard set that I would feel like I want to start playing standard again. I want legacy players to look at a standard set and be like, that seems like a fun time to me. Maybe I'll play standard a little bit. That's where I'm at with this.
If we had Sylvan Library in modern, I straight up would actually try and build legitimate miracles.
Yeah, well,
because now you have a way to set your deck up.
Set yourself up.
But, I'm curious. I wonder how much they consider templating for standard now, because I imagine the majority of standard is done on Arena, where it just does shit for you. And so like dexterity issues with card templating may not be as big of a deal to them. So they may think like something like Sylvan Library would be a little bit more coaching.
this card goes on top, this card goes under it, this card goes on the bottom.
Right. In Arena, that's really easy.
Yeah.
But like in dexterity wise in paper, where you have to like keep the cards you draw separate from your hand, so you're not like doing any cheat ski McGeet skis or whatever. But in Arena, you can't do that. So it seems like it would be an easier templating.
You would think that they're making cards with 6 sides that they could handle putting 3 cards back on top of the deck, but like that's a topic I don't even want to get into. What I want to get into is the next card on this list, Dingus Egg. Dingus Egg.
Who wants this?
It's a 4-mana artifact that whenever a land goes to the graveyard, it deals 2 damage to that land's controller.
Oh man, 4 mana. You and your 4 mana.
Bring land destruction back. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get that Arsenio Hall whoop going. You know, like I want to see.
Yeah,
I want to see Stone Rain come back in too. But like, I'm just talking about Dingus Egg for right now.
You can get to
Field of Ruin.
4 mana.
We'll hit both of you.
All right. We're gonna play a little fun game here.
Yeah, let's do it.
What is an alpha Dingus? What is the cheapest alpha Dingus Egg you can buy right now online? I'm looking at TCG Player. We're going off TCG Player.
$800.
I'm looking at a heavily played Dingus Egg. What's the cheapest option?
$800.
You're close, but you're a little over.
Oh man,
you're
over.
It
600?
It is 550. There's one played for 550. Everything else is 600 and above.
Man,
so
dude,
I mean,
that's a testament to me to like what when Nate and I back in the day were talking about buying into old school and picking up those cards, and same thing with pre-modern and picking up those cards for decks. And you know, we were talking about how like it's a steal. Like I bought a beta icy manipulator for like $10 on TCG Player like 6 years ago, just because I was like, I just want to play this card and they're cheap. Why not grab them? You know, and it's wild to me. This stuff show like look up beta icy manipulator on TCG Player. What's that going for? You know, like
icy manipulator.
It's just wild to like if you follow these like weird niche formats.
What is the market price you believe to be for a beta icy manipulator?
And I would say mine is probably like HP, heavily played.
Okay, there's a heavily played one I'm looking at. What do you have it at?
I'm gonna say $600.
Oh, you're way high on these. Icy manipulator beta is not as high.
Yeah, probably because there are no reprints, right? Let's go $200.
It's $350.
$350. Okay.
But now the real question is, how much is an alpha icy?
Alpha icy.
I could buy I can buy a lightly played alpha icy manipulator right now for this amount of money. How much?
$700.
You are way under.
Oh, way under. Oh no.
Oh my gosh, you are way under.
It's such a small print run. Let's say $1,300.
You are way under, sir. You have
$5,000.
Right. Okay, now you're way over. $2,000 for $2K for an alpha.
$1. I bid $1.
So
all right.
That's crazy. There's a lightly played and a near mint and another lightly played, all from actual vendor, like actual like brick and mortar vendors that are in the $2,000 range.
Damn. Well, okay, so those first two were kind of like they who knows, you know, probably not on Dingus Egg, right? My third one is a card that I think they should reprint in this set, and then I also think they should figure out a way to use the old art because that to me is like the iconicness that you're looking for in this product, and that is Disrupting Scepter, which I think is also a really good card to like to add into control decks, and also like probably just fine in a limited environment. It's been reprinted like probably not more than like 15 years ago too.
It's been reprinted a bunch, and we're gonna play this game. How much is a beta Disrupting Scepter worth?
Beta Disrupting Scepter, $200.
$245, not bad. Look at you. How much is an alpha worth?
Ooh, $700.
You're under, but you're not as far off as last time. You can get one for $1,000.
Okay, not bad, not bad. For those of you who don't know, because we haven't been really saying what these cards do, Disrupting Scepter is a 3-mana artifact that during your main phase, because it can only be used as a sorcery, you could spend 3 mana and tap it. Your opponent has to choose and discard a card.
Wow, it was such an aggressive rate.
It was a big deal back in the day, especially since I didn't know what sorcery speed meant. So I was doing it during draw step.
This was the OG Liliana of the Veil.
Yeah, this was this is still a huge card in old school, which is I think why it behooves them to print this stuff with the original art, so that people who play old school will be like, you know what, like this is a fine proxy for this thing. Let's grab one, that sort of thing. Not all old school groups are into letting people use reprints, which is kind of insane to me. But anyhow. Like, I understand let's maintain the integrity of the environment by not being like, hey, you can use a 10th edition Disrupting Scepter with the new art. Totally understandable. But if it's old bordered and has the same art, let people use it. That's fine.
Okay.
I play with I have a what's it called? Collector's edition. Everyone's fine with Collector's edition.
Oh yeah, for sure. I am also on the side that proxies are fine in non-competitive environments.
Yeah, it's not sanctioned. But like I said, I totally understand the concept of keeping an aesthetic, and I agree with it to that end. But I think that if you reprint it with the old art, you should be able to use it.
Yeah. Let me also say I'm also happy for Proxy Legacy, even unsanctioned. I would play in those events too.
Yeah, I'm a big. I used to not be a huge proponent of it when I would go to a local and they would be like, "Well, we're doing Proxy Legacy," because I had issues with not the buyer's remorse. That didn't bother me at all. I'd like more people to be playing and I'd like it to be easier for people to get in. But it makes the vendor not want to run them as often because they can't sell singles.
Yeah,
it's a weird thing. I'm not a vendor, so I can't say for sure.
I think a nice trick is you can do reserve list proxy. If a card is on the reserve list, you can proxy it. Everything else you cannot. Yeah. So it's even if there are expensive cards, I think that is a nice middle ground, because those cards are arbitrarily priced when they're on the reserve list at this point. So it's all right, if that's actually the limiting factor, then it's I'll buy a set of Force of Wills knowing that I can play in these, but whatever.
Here's one you're going to have to look up that I know is probably under $1, Phil.
Wow.
Card number 4. I put card number 9, and that is the 7th card. It is Karplusian Yeti.
So I know a lot of the lore of the Karplusian Forest.
Yep.
And I'm going to...
So Karplusian Yeti, correct me if I'm wrong while you look this up. Off the top of my head, Karplusian Yeti is a 4 mana, that's 2 and 2 red, 3/3 for a 3/3 for a creature Yeti that taps to fight a creature.
So you want this card printed and you don't even know its mana cost. It's 5 mana.
5 mana.
It's 3 red.
Never mind.
And it deals an amount of damage equal to its power to target creature. That creature deals an amount of damage equal to Karplusian Yeti. It fights. So it's tap, fight a creature. It is summon Yeti. It is a 5 mana 3/3.
Now the reason why I chose this card is for the Quentin Hoover art.
The Quentin Hoover art is very nice. I love the old school flavor of this art. Here's the test. You were right. You can get any number of these for less than a quarter.
Yeah.
Karplusian Yeti has been reprinted exactly 1 time. In what set?
5th edition.
It was originally in Ice Age. And 5th edition. Your final answer?
Oh, yes.
9th edition.
9th edition.
Zach, we got to tighten you up, bud. We got to tighten you up.
All right. My next one. This is a classic. And this is my if this card gets printed, it means we're going in a really awesome direction. It's Dark Heart of the Woods from the Dark.
Yeah.
Never been reprinted, I don't believe. And this is a black and a green for an enchantment that lets you sack a force to gain 3 life.
Okay, so that card, again, also, it's a common. You can get it for less than a dime. You are wrong, however, that it was not reprinted. It was reprinted exactly 1 time.
Oh.
In what set?
A dual deck? In a dual deck?
In a standard legal set.
What?
It was reprinted after the dark.
After the dark.
With new art.
New art. Let's go for X edition.
It was reprinted in Ravnica, City of Guilds.
Wow, I did not know that. That is wild.
City of Guilds. It
wow,
was part of the Golgari.
Wood.
Dark Heart of the Wood. Sacrifice a forest. Gain
that card is what a weird choice. What a
bro. You gotta fuel that graveyard. You know.
I guess. Yeah, just get your lands into the graveyard. I guess unless you can turn one of your creatures into a forest.
Okay, now here's a fun one. Of the two printings for Dark Heart of the Wood, both of them are less than a dime. Which one is more expensive?
The foil Return to Ravnica.
No foil. Straight. The Dark or Ravnica City of Guilds. Which one is more expensive? They're both less than a dime.
The Dark.
The Dark is more expensive. It costs 9 cents versus Ravnica City of Guilds version, which costs a nickel.
All right.
You're tightening up. You're tightening it up.
This is like a game show. I'm loving this. All right. Mind Bombs.
Mind Bombs. Yeah, we know Mind Bombs. Who can forget the Mind Bomb art of a giant?
Easily the best art. Like that. This card.
It's literally brains that look like nukes falling out of a thing.
Also, this is the card I think is fine to probably print into standard or into modern.
Yeah, who cares?
Like, not going to be a problem.
What could possibly happen?
Into even what's called
it would see no play.
Pioneer. No, here's the thing: is because now, correct me if I'm wrong. This card reads, it basically reads: each player discards 3 cards, or they take 1 damage for each card that they don't discard.
Mind Bomb deals 3 damage to each player. Each player may choose and discard up to 3 cards to prevent an amount of damage equal to the number of cards discarded from Mind Bomb.
Who wrote that? Terrible.
It's long.
Get that guy out of here. But so that is a discard outlet for you. And if you want to play like a reanimator strategy or something like that, you got some cards in your hand that you do want in the graveyard. This card's great. I actually played this card in my Sephiroth reanimator deck in EDH because I don't need these creatures in my hands.
And it's
damage to my opponents is like kind of whatever. I don't mind, you know. And it's blue. Discard outlets in blue are not impossible to find, but for 1 mana, you can't beat that. That's pretty good.
Mind Bomb Reanimator would be a sick deck name.
Mind Bomb Reanimator. Big brain Reanimator, I think you'd want to call it, right?
There are technically 3 versions of Mind Bomb. They all have the same art.
Yes.
What sets was it printed in?
Okay. First off, the Dark.
Yes. Additional bonus question. What was the rarity of it in the Dark?
Ooh, it was an uncommon in the Dark, I want to say.
It was a rare. Okay. So you didn't get the bonus. But
for what it's worth, I mean, most of the rares in the Dark weren't worth having anyhow. So, wow.
Blood Moon was in the Dark, bro.
That's one of the 2 rares that's worth having in the Dark. The other one being
very powerful.
Ball Lightning.
Yes, a lot of red cards.
Let's see. So the Dark would be the one, and then the other one would be 6th edition.
There's
one more. One more.
No looking it up.
I'm not looking it up. I was making sure I wasn't getting pinged. Let's go with 9th edition.
It was in the Dark. It was a rare. It was in 4th edition as an uncommon. So you weren't totally off. And then again in 5th edition as an uncommon.
Man, I went hard on the Mind Bombs. I didn't know Mind Bombs was in 4th edition.
Dude, how much is a Mind Bomb from the Dark worth today?
27 cents.
You were close. Just add $2, add money to it. It's $2.75.
Well, I mean, it's a great card, iconic, obviously, and it means that we would be going into the Dark, which would make me happy.
Yes.
I love that part of Magic to me is so just like, it just reminds me of a time when like I'd wander into a store and open up a binder and be like, I've never seen any of these cards. I didn't even know that these cards existed. Like, you just like go to a store and be like, here's a legend I've never seen. It's got legendary Landwalk. What the hell? Like that to me is like some of the best memories of Magic, is going back and just like going into that part of my brain where I'm like just new to the game, wandering into a store and be like, Seafarer Squirry, all my blue legends have banding. Banding seems like a thing, like that sort of thing to me was like so iconic. I mean, I remember wandering into a shop when I was like 12 before, or maybe 13, I guess, because I would have been 13 before like I really played Magic, and just like flipped through a book. And I remember specifically seeing Sword of the Ages as like an art and being like, whoa, that's cool. And then like not, just not having any idea what any of this stuff did and just moving on with my life. But like that picture stuck with me. All right. Number four. We're up to number 4. I think
we're on number 6 or something. I think we're way off, but that's okay.
Yeah. Because I threw that in, I'm cutting one because technically I was going to put in Crusade. You can't have Crusade anymore because of racism problems, but they could easily change the name, but that would F up the whole, concept for me, because I want it for old school. Not that you have trouble getting that card anymore. So we're going to move on. Moving on, Order of the Ebon Hand, Order of Letber. Right over here. Those two, the OG Pump Knights, were like the gold standard in 2-drops at the time, and the flavor behind them super cool. I'd love to see if we went back in time to like Fallen Empire's time, we get like the OG Ebon Hand guy, or we just get a card called the Ebon Hand, and it's just like hand. It's like the hand from Vampire Hunter D.
Last time we were in Dominaria, they did do a bunch of cards that were just updated references to all those cards. What I would like to see is, so have you seen the
but those updated references, by the way, were in the future. Like they had continued and moved on. I want to see like before that. Yeah,
you want to go back in time.
You're saying, did I see the box?
Did you see the box with the old
Magic? Oh, I did.
Yeah, you did,
I'm
right?
I'm loving it. That makes me happy.
So
that means I'm probably more likely to be right.
It means that you're probably more likely to be right. And this is the thing that got me excited about it. I'm hoping that like the specialty art versions or whatever that they do of whatever cards they decide to print, right, are not just old border versions of cards with the retro frames, but also the original mana symbol designs.
Oh yeah. So we could get the sun, the like weird sun.
So like exactly. Like I want like the old school, like it doesn't even look like the like high rendered symbols on the alternate retro frames to make it really feel like it was the OG.
You know what would be really cool? So like we've got RKF doing stuff again, like a lot of stuff, which is really cool. I'd love to see them like reach out to a lot of those older Magic artists like Jesper Mefros and Faye Jones. Faye Jones might not even be alive. I don't know. That's the Stasis lady. A lot of those older artists that like started the game off and used some of their art for this set. Like just like give you that feel. Like there's nothing to me that feels more like nostalgia for the game than looking through those older sets and seeing that art. It almost feels earthy to me. Like I just like, you can almost smell it, I don't know how to explain it better than that. Like to me, smell obviously is one of those big things to me that's like clicks a memory in. So like I can go to like old comics that I used to own, that I still own, I suppose, and open them up and start reading them, and you catch a whiff of like 1995 in there, and like immediately I'm just taken back to the comic shop that I used to work at. Mm-hmm. That stuff to me, like visually, is the next thing. Like so, like getting those visuals that like make me feel like I'm in 1995. That's what I want.
That's exactly the reason why I want the old symbols to make a return at some point.
So number 3. Oh wait, go on.
So I just want to talk. I know it can't be reprinted, obviously reserve list. I get it, everybody. Yeah. But the card that I will never get the opportunity to play with. But when learning about the kind of decks it was used in, is the most elegant win condition, I think, of all time.
Morphling?
Sherazade.
Oh, get out of here.
So how much
your opponent concedes from hating you?
No, it's not. So in theory, so if
you could deck your opponent.
Remember what Sherazade does. Yeah, Sherazade is the it's 2 white for a sorcery, meaning 2 mana. It's exactly 2 white mana. But players start a sub game, and you start playing that game, and then you start that sub game by using half of your deck. Is that right?
Yeah.
And so theoretically, you build your deck in such a way where you continue Sherazading in the sub games to the point where you deck your opponent in the sub games, and then you continuously, you eventually just can keep decking them in sub games all the way back to the main game.
Here's my take on this is like, if you go to a sub game, you should have to go under the table and play on a smaller table that's either next to or under the table that you're playing at. So it looks something like this, where it's just like, okay, first Scheherazade gets cast, then we go to this table. Second Scheherazade gets cast, we go to this one. The third one, we go to this one. And then like at the end, you have to go back up to the main table and continue playing.
Yeah. I mean, all of this work, just
Scheherazade napkin math.
The result of losing a sub game is a player loses half their life. Like that's it. Yeah. That's what happens. But there's never been a card with a more elegant kill condition than making your opponent deck multiple times in the same game just to lose one game. Like, yeah, I love that idea, and I want them to do a nod to Scheherazade. I want the character in Sherazade to get their own card in Dominaria.
Scheherazade herself. Yeah. Like a legend Scheherazade that has to tap.
That starts sub game.
Magus of the Scheherazade. That's ridiculous.
Just make Scheherazade a planeswalker. There you go.
You're getting canceled. We're getting canceled for this episode.
Dude, Cosmofolio, classic art.
It is actually some of the best art in the game. Okay. I want to see this. Final thing. How much is a Scheherazade? It's only printed in Arabian Nights, can't be reprinted because of reserve list. How much does one not damaged cost? We'll go heavily played. What is a heavily played one cost now? Now, for reminder, it's banned in EDH, banned everywhere, banned in every format. That's everything. Not cube, right?
You literally can't play this anywhere unless you're at a casual table and people agree to it.
$2,400.
Oh, you're so far off, surprisingly. I actually think that this one is partially due to the fact that you can't actually use it anywhere. It is strictly a collectible.
$400 or something.
It's exactly $400. Ding, 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 Zac. All right.
Did it. Okay. So next, this is my speculation because this is insane. This is number 3 and it's stupid. I get it. I want to see a legendary Acacian money changer, like the most ridiculous version of pay 1 mana for an O2 or an O3 that
so bad
that makes
you want to read
it. Yeah. Wait, let me guess. You lose 3 life, and then every turn you put a change counter on it. Let's call it a change counter. It might not be called that. And then during your upkeep, you can sacrifice it to gain life equal to the number of change counters that's on Acacian money changer. So you have to lose 3 life first. Okay, what is it actually?
So the Oracle text is, for 1 white, you get an O2 townsfolk.
Yep.
The card type
probably
is townsfolk.
A human now. Oh, it's not even a human?
Now it would be human now, yeah. Okay. It says money changer deals 3 damage to you when it's summoned. Put 3 credit counters on money changer at that time.
Credit counters, guys. Credit counters. Bring them back.
During your upkeep, put 1 credit counter on money changer, and then you can sacrifice it to gain 1 life for each credit counter on it. Use
that
this
card's
ability.
Less bad than I actually made it out to be because I didn't say that you get the 3 credit counters on it.
Yeah, only during your upkeep. So the idea is you take 3 damage and put 3 credit counters on money changer. And then during your upkeep, you then can put another credit counter on money changer, which means that if it survives a turn cycle,
this isn't a time before Unearth exists.
Bro, you can sacrifice it to gain 4 life during your upkeep. The downside, though, is you can't sacrifice it in response to anything because it has to be during your upkeep.
And it's a what? Oh, what?
It's an 0-2.
0-2. So it's not even bolt bait, it's shock bait.
It is dying everything.
It dies to Unyaro Beasting.
Okay, so Money Changer was printed in only Fallen Empires. It has never seen a reprint. How much does it cost?
Ooh, 37 cents.
Oh, you respect this card. You respect this card a lot.
It's probably 2 cents.
You respect it a lot. I can get 22 copies right now for 9 cents each. 9 cents each.
Okay. Each. That makes more sense. I was like, wow, 20. They're selling them for less than a penny.
Yeah,
less than a half a penny. It's 1 halfpenny for occasion.
You can do with all of the dollars that you just. How much did you say initially? What was your count?
27 cents.
27 cents, dude. You can get so many money changers for 27 cents.
Yeah, I mean, I could get 3 money changers. I could gain 12 life during my next upkeep.
During your upkeep,
really
yeah, dude. No, well, the thing is, you'd effectively gain 3 life because you would have had to dome yourself with 3 first.
This is true. Well, if I have a Circle of Protection whiteout, I just spend an extra mana and then fly.
That's true. What you have to do is Pact of Intervention, the 3 damage dealt to you to dome your opponent, and then next turn you can put a counter on your money changer and just pay 3 to not die to your pact.
Man, they should also reprint Hand of Justice. I'm not going to go into that one, but it's ridiculous. It's as ridiculous as Hecatomb.
Hand of Justice is I know this one. It's a 5 and a white for a 6 mana card that says it is a 3/6 that says exile a creature by tapping 3 other white creatures. Am I right?
Let's see. Let's go to the boards.
Oh wait, what did I just say? The actual
3/6.
answer.
Is it
I was wrong. It's a 2/6. Yeah,
I thought it was a 2/6.
And it's tap 3 target white creatures you control to destroy target creature.
Man, that card's so good.
So good.
I remember opening one of those and being like, it's over. None of my friends are gonna beat
look
me
at this
ever
art.
Again.
Look at the artwork. This is the
so
OG
cool.
Obnixilis.
He's so cool. And like he's green for some reason.
Yeah, dude, you got to be green. You got to be green wearing blue and red on your white card.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
Look at that stash.
Number two, Chaos Lord from Ice Age.
Mm-hmm.
So Chaos Lord from Ice Age is a 7 mana 7/7 with first strike. If Chaos,
how many red pips?
I have it right here, so that's not fair. It's not fair to ask. It's 3 red pips. It's 3 and 4 colorless. And then it has haste if it wasn't cast this turn. And then every upkeep, you have to count the total number of permanents in play, yours and your opponent's. And if you have an odd number, if that number of is odd, you keep it. If it's even, you have to give it to an opponent.
Can I just, I want to just read the text if that's okay?
Yeah, please do.
Just the first sentence. We don't have to go into the other stuff. The first sentence, it's I don't know how many lines in Magic contradict themselves in one sentence, but this one does. Chaos Lord can attack the first turn it comes into play on a side, except the turn it first comes into play.
Yeah. It's, it's, I mean, that was high level Magic at the time. It's still funny to me because it's like, it wants to be like, it's not that line literally
I'm looking up
nothing because if you have control of it and you lose control of it, you have to give it to your opponent, right? It goes through an untapped step, so it wouldn't have summoning sickness anyhow, and your opponent would get to make the decision whether or not he gets to keep it based on how many permanents he has, right? And attack with it. It doesn't need haste.
Yeah, this is
it doesn't need it.
For clarity, even though the templating is fucking awful in the original printing, let me read you. Let me read you the original Oracle text so you understand that this card does actually work as intended.
Okay.
At the beginning of your upkeep, target opponent gains control of Chaos Lord if the number of permanents is even. Chaos Lord. That's all it says. Chaos Lord can attack as though it had haste unless it entered the battlefield this turn. So that haste clause is so when you regain control of it, it's no longer summoning sick because it didn't enter the battlefield. It was on the battlefield.
Why though?
Because you want to attack with your 7/7 first strike when you get it back, bro.
Yeah, but what, on my opponent's turn? during his upkeep?
No. It's at the beginning of an upkeep. Yeah, at the beginning of your upkeep.
So
you will have
let's pretend this is Chaos Lord and it's my upkeep, and I have an even number of permanents, and now you have it. And then okay, what are you going to attack me with it?
At the beginning of your next upkeep.
So now it's your turn, and you have Chaos Lord, and you could attack with it anyhow. It doesn't need that weird haste clause.
It would.
It's your upkeep. You went through a whole turn cycle.
Right, but when during your upkeep, when it's handed back to you, it would be summoning stick again. It needs to go through an untap phase.
Sure. During it's during my upkeep? No, because
during your upkeep.
No, during my upkeep, I'm the player that controls it, so I'd be reading this card. It's not during my personal upkeep. It's not like
at the beginning of your upkeep.
It's not the player who owns its upkeep. It's the player who controls its upkeep.
Okay, so when I said
that clause is useless.
When I said let me read the Oracle text so this card makes sense as intended, Zach and I have, how long have we spent on this?
This card doesn't need that text, is what I'm saying. This card should literally say first strike, 7/7. Win this card during your upkeep. If the number of permanents in play is even, target opponent gets control of Chaos Lord. That's it. Okay, that's all it needs to say.
I understand. You are correct and I'm incorrect. I am now curious, though, how many cards in Magic's history have actual full sentences that just don't need to be there at all?
There are a lot of sentences on that card that don't that is a wall of text. Look at this.
That aren't reminder text.
It can literally say, count the number of permanents in play. If it's even, target opponent gets control of this. End. Like, that's all it needs to say.
If anybody else knows of sentences that are not reminder text or like certain, like specifying gameplay rules, actions, actual things on cards that just straight up are superfluous, let us know, because now I'm very curious what cards exist that are like Chaos Lord.
But so you want to know why I chose this card?
I think because it's so flavorfully perfect that there is nonsense, superfluous words, and the card is called Chaos Lord. You and I,
no, that's not why though.
Like what a fantastic design. You and I just had the experience that the designers were definitely going for.
Oh yeah, I mean, look. First off, whoever designed this card, nobody has talked about this card as much as we have ever. Like, so every child looked at this card and was like 7/7. I have to do all this weird math, and I might have to figure out a way to get rid of permanents. Cards that you would use this with, Zoran Orb, you would sack a land to keep it in play. Not that anyone ever seriously played this card. Or Despotic Scepter, so you could tap and bury a permanent you own. So if you accidentally had to give this to your opponent and he was going to attack you with it, you could kill it in response. That's it. So this card, by the way, why this card's special, why this card is even on this list, it's the very first rare that I opened in a pack.
Yes, it is indeed rare. It is. It
was reprinted once, right? No, please tell me it was not reprinted. Yeah,
it was not.
Jesus, don't do this.
Ice Age
only.
Don't
do this to anybody.
The artwork is incredible in this card, though. And
Brian Snoddy, man, Balduvian Horde artist, Volcanic Island artist.
Your first ever rare is a lot better than mine. Ooh. My first actual pack that I opened was in Lorwyn, and I opened up a Jace Beleren, which
that card's playable at least.
That card's actually playable, and it doesn't have any excess words on it that don't make sense. Unfortunately,
I tried to make this card work because I was just like, okay, here's a giant red monster and it kills Scaled Worm, dude.
Yeah, dude.
This thing blocks and kills Scaled Worm and attacks into Scaled Worm, and it's just like Colonel 3-piece. I have no time for you.
No, 7/7 mana 7/7 first strike. Everything is upside.
Yeah, it's all upside. This card's on rate. It's got extra text. Anyhow, let's go to card number 1 that I want to see reprinted into Standard, Modern, Pioneer, and bring it back. It's already in Legacy. That's Stasis. Let's bring it back. Let's get me excited about playing Standard again. But you know what? Look, Faye Jones. I got nothing against Faye Jones. I think she's excellent. Love her to death. Love the art. That art's so cool. But I would like to see the new art that they have on Magic Online, that little girl with the knights and stuff around her.
Oh yeah,
got over here.
Yeah.
That's a really cool. That I just love that art, and I'd like physical versions of that. And that's that. I mean, that's my list.
Okay, so
you got cards.
I'm looking at a beta stasis.
No.
How much does it cost?
Let me look at a beta stasis. I'll say $900.
You're hopping over the mark. I can get a beta stasis for 500. I'm looking at an alpha stasis, moderately played alpha stasis. How much of a hit is my bank account going to take?
$1,400.
You are very under.
Very under. I mean, I should be very under. That card's awesome. $2,700.
That would be a good guess for The Price is Right. The number is $3,000 for an alpha stasis.
I mean, I'm not getting your prizes too in the showcase showdown. You got to be under 100 to do that.
So here's now the final question for your list.
Okay.
Stasis with its original Faye Jones art, not including collector's editions. No international edition, no collector's edition.
I own 5 collector's editions, by the way.
Has been reprinted how many times?
Okay, so let's go. So you got alpha, beta, revised, unlimited revised. 4th edition, 5th edition. I think it stopped at 5th edition. And then there might have been like, yeah, let's go with 6. And then there might have been like some weird, like, judge promo or something. I'll go with 6.
I'm going to take that weird additional thing as a correct answer. It is 6 times plus Summer Magic, which is that weird thing. So well done, Stasis Master Zac Clark.
I mean, if there's anybody who's advocating for this card, it's got to be me. I know that a lot of these cards are not going to make it in, but it's the feeling.
None of them are going to make it in, Zach.
That nostalgia. No, I got a hankering for Chaos Lord.
None of them are making it
in.
Chaos
Lord downshifted to common so that it hits Pauper.
Yeah, you get your 7 mana, 7/7s in Pauper.
I want nothing more than Chaos Lord to be reprinted, just because, like, look, if I ever get to work for WotC, Chaos Lord. I'm just making into a set, man. I'm just going to be like, and this is a draft common that nobody will ever want to play. And if somebody gets it in and it causes like an issue with combat or something like that, that's fine.
I just want, the only card that I want to see back, even though it's on the reserve list here, is Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams,
which is an enchant world for blue that says the top card of each player's library is always face up. And if we can't have that, then just give me the creature card of the character in the artwork.
I played this in my Stasis deck in the old school tournament, the last like big old school tournament when I forget what the name of that set, Wanderings or Ponderings or something. They made that like update to old school.
When I play old school in Field of Dreams is the best card in my deck. It's unbelievable. It is so good.
Well, it's perfect information. Like once you get a couple turns in, like everybody, you know what every card in your opponent's hand is, and if you're playing a deck that can capitalize off of that, it's great.
But also, there are cards that let you draw cards if the top card of your deck is something like Sinbad.
Oh yeah, if it's a land,
and card draw outside of like it's like JM Daytona is like the best card draw effect outside of Ancestral. So
by the way, Sinbad's a card that they should put back into standard. Like I would love Sinbad isn't
doesn't do anything. Nobody would play it.
Like
it was
I think it's great. Like that's a great card draw spell. It's a 2 mana 1/1 that taps to draw a card. If it's a land, but if it's not a land, you discard it. Like that's fine because that's like every in a draft, that's fine. And in like standard, it's probably okay. Because like every third or fourth card you draw is a land.
There was a card in, I forget what set it was, but it was literally a green shifted Sinbad. It was 1 in a green for a 1/3. It didn't fly, but it had tap, reveal the top card. If it's a land, draw it. which
that's
but
not
I remember
the same.
But that card was nutty. That card was nutty in that draft format. I forget what it was called. But they also we got sort of a Sinbadian card in, what was the snow creature from Kaldheim?
That crow.
1-mana snow creature.
Crow, right?
No, it was a 1-mana snow creature that had 1 tap. It was the Scrying Sheets. It was Magus of the Scrying Sheets.
Something.
Yeah, Augur of something. Magus of the
yeah.
Scrying Sheets was effectively what it was.
Yeah.
But that was close. Anyway, that's all I got. Field of Dreams. Let's go.
That's that's where we're at today. This was a fun episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
All right, Zach. One last thing though. How much Alpha Field of Dreams? It's the only printing. How much does it cost?
Alpha Field of Dreams.
There's only one. It's only an alpha. Everything.
No, it's not.
I'm gonna skip. It's
not
only
alpha.
I'm sorry,
Legends.
Legends. Sorry, my bad.
I bought one in 2019 for $80. I sold one in 2020 right before I moved for about $80. I'm going to say $137.
So you are just over the mark. Moderately played, you can get one for $110.
Okay.
110. So
I would not have. Somebody bet $1 and got me and got to do the showcase showdown on that one.
Man, Field of Dreams is so broken.
They're doing the Yodel guy now.
Dude, oh man, if we got Field of Dreams at something that was affordable, I would definitely play Lantern and Legacy.
I
think that's the perfect note to end it
on. Real quick, we should also thank our sponsor, MoxField.com, where you can find all these cards, including Chaos Lord. MoxField.com is a really great deck building website. It's something that we use to share a lot of our lists and decks. It's a great place to build commander decks. It's a really great place to share and build legacy decks. So check out MoxField.com. And also, we'd like to thank our Patreon supporters. They help us come up with a lot of cool ideas as well. We always accept direct messages. You can check us out in our Discord as well. You get a Discord link if you join us there.
Also, speaking of supporters of the show, friends of the show, by the time you're listening to this, MTG Goldfish will have posted our friend Joe Dyer.
Oh yeah,
actually,
so cool.
He brought us on for the series where like they interview different players, and they brought on us for an Eternal Durdles.
There's like
feature.
a cartoon version of me and Phil somewhere.
We are cartoons now, so there you go.
Sick.
Finally,
yeah,
we have ascended
we'll
into
link
toonhood.
that. We'll link that below.
Shout out to
Joe Dyer.
So, shout out to Joe. And check it out.
Cool.
It's pretty sweet.
So I'm so psyched for that. I'm so psyched for that. Anyhow, hey, y'all have a good day. Have a good week. Thanks for sticking it out. We had a couple weeks where we just needed to take a break, and there was no news anyhow. Let's be honest. There was nothing really going on. So
I broke miracles, by the way. I figured it out. I finally figured it out. So
we'll find out about that next episode. Have a good one, everybody. Hey, thanks for watching. Bye. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out this other video. You'll probably like it.